Through NCBA, the cattle industry has a daily presence on Capitol Hill. And joining me now is the leader of that effort, Colin Woodall, Senior Vice President of Legislative Affairs here in Washington, D.C. Colin, thank you so much for coming to the show.
You bet, Kevin. Always good to be with you.
It's nice to be in your hometown now.
Yeah, absolutely.
You've been in this organization for about a decade now, and I just wanted to begin by asking, what's it like to represent the interests of cattle producers here on Capitol Hill all those years?
Well, you know, Kevin, this truly is a dream job. To be able to represent our members every day up on Capitol Hill in this great building that you see behind us. You know, our members are working really hard to take care of their operations, to make a living, to produce high quality beef. They don't really have the time to worry about the shenanigans going on in this town each and every day. That's my job. My job is to lead that charge, to make sure that we're fighting the fight, make sure that their voice is being heard by these members of Congress, and more importantly, to work every day to keep the government out of their business.
Yes. And, you know, we had some interesting midterm elections here just last week, and I wanted to ask you, what do those midterm elections mean to the work that you're doing and going to be doing over the next couple of years?
Well, we have a lot of new friends. We also, unfortunately, lost a few friends.
Okay.
But the bottom line is, with a switch in control of the Senate, the Republicans now being in charge, we do expect more opportunities to see passage of legislation that's going to help us push back against the regulatory overreach from this administration. So we're excited about that. But in the meantime, our job is to really focus on these new members, especially their staff, make sure they understand who NCBA is, understand the cattle industry, understand our issues, and more importantly, be prepared to stand up and vote for us when they get the opportunity.
We need a few more folks like Senator Fisher in the Congress, I think.
Senator Fisher is a great representative of not only her home state, but also the ranching industry, and has done a great job for us up on Capitol Hill.
Let's talk about some of those key issues. You mentioned those. What are the 3 or 4 key issues that you'll be working on?
Well, we're doing a lot of work right now to make sure that beef stays in the center of the plate when it comes to dietary guidelines. We're making sure that we can continue our work on opening new markets for U.S. beef to go into our foreign customers. We're making sure that we can preserve the rights of cattle producers to operate with grazing leases out on public lands. And we spend a lot of time fighting the EPA, or as we say these days, it stands for Eliminating Production Agriculture.
I hadn't heard of that one, but that's very appropriate, right? Let's talk about another acronym, WTO and COOL, all right? It's the story that doesn't seem to die, Colin, and I would like your take on the recent ruling that we've heard come down from WTO. What does that mean to the industry?
Well, it's unfortunate that COOL is something that we're still talking about well over a decade from the first time it popped up here in Washington, D.C., and it has been very divisive within the industry. But the World Trade Organization has come out, and for a third time now, they've made it very clear that COOL violates the trade agreements that we have with Canada and Mexico. What that means is ultimately Canada and Mexico can retaliate against us by either shutting down their markets or placing tariffs on our beef. That's a problem because Canada and Mexico have historically been 2 of the top 5 markets for the export of U.S. beef. So if we lose that access, that's a negative impact on us as U.S. cattle producers. You know, this was an experiment. It was an experiment that failed. It's time to get the government out of marketing, and let's make sure that we market it as an industry because we know what's best for us, and it's sure not the government.
We asked Senator Fisher about her take on the waters of the U.S. Ruling and redefining waters of the U.S. I'd be interested, what happens if this actually comes to pass and is implemented?
If this is implemented, it means that the EPA is coming on your operation, and they're going to tell you how you can use your land and the water on your property. Regardless of what EPA says, they're going around saying that this is not going to impact agriculture. When you look at the words on paper, which is what the enforcement agencies will look at and what the lawyers will look at, it tells a much different story. And it gives them the access to regulate farms and ranches at a level that we have never seen before. It truly is a land grab. We cannot afford to have that. We already have enough pressures on our members as it is. To allow the EPA to come in and do more to them, to restrict their access to the land, is something that we're just ultimately not going to stand for. So we're going to continue to work with Congress, and if we have to take it into the court system, we will do so to protect farmers and ranchers' rights.
I want to follow up on your trade comment a moment ago. Last I heard, we're generating another $285, $300 a head value because of trade. What are the issues you and your staff are working on?
Right now, especially with this new Congress, we're going to make sure that we have Trade Promotion Authority, TPA, reauthorized. This gives the administration the ability to go out and negotiate these trade deals without worrying about all 535 members of Congress who might want to put their little tidbit in that particular deal, in order to send a very strong message to all all of our international partners that we're serious about trade deals. The president needs that authority. The president has asked for that authority. We support it. And more importantly, the Republicans support it. So we're excited about getting that done so we can finish some of the outstanding trade deals, such as the Trans-Pacific Partnership.
Thanks so much for all the great work you're doing. We appreciate it, Colin.
Thank you, Kevin.